Are we live?
I think we should be. Hey everyone, let us know in the chat if you can hear us well, if you can see us.
Hi everyone.
As well. We have a few minutes while everyone is joining. You can see that you're all getting to know each other in the chat. That's great. We have recruiters from all over the world, Ukraine, Germany, India, New York. Thanks everyone for joining. We know it can be a little bit hard with the timings, but we really appreciate it. Let's give them a minute. Okay, yeah, everyone can hear us and see us. You can see John mention it. Cool. Thanks for joining, everyone. By the way, this will be recorded. You will be able to check out the recording afterwards. We'll send an email to everyone with the link, so you'll have that. We'll also be in Crowdcast, so nothing to worry if you miss out, if you have any meetings, it's all going to be available. Hi, Kim. Yeah, it does feel like we're all meeting in person, finally. It's been a while. First of all, I wanted just to say a few things about how this is going to work. So I'm just going to introduce the topic, a little bit about why we're here. Then Irina is going to share some really, really cool stuff with you guys. She's going to give you the whole overview of where to start, with your GitHub sourcing, why it's important, and how to get the best overview of the candidates. If you have time at the end, I will also show afterwards a little bit of how everything that she will show you can also be used in a slightly simplified way. If you don't have time, for manual sourcing, Amazing Hiring will be able to do some of those things for you. Before we go kind of into the actual presentation, like why we're actually here, right? So GitHub as, a tech source is definitely a technical recruiter's paradise, right? It might be a little bit, underrepresented among other sources if we compare it to LinkedIn, but we see that it's a great place to find, developers' profiles with the information that might not be listed elsewhere. And a lot of the candidates that we, struggle to find will be extremely active there. We want to know what they do, and that's how we get to them. So we have partnered as Amazing Hiring with Irina to help you get like a head start on this. A little bit about Amazing Hiring. You probably know we help build, recruiters communities. We've done some sourcing trainings before, but basically the main point of us is that we provide recruiters from all over the world with the best tech sourcing platform that can simplify your day-to-day work, give you access to candidates from over 70 different sources in one place, and automate your recruitment efforts. We probably all know Irina. Well, most of you are probably already part of her Great Boolean Strings community, which I am part of as well. And you probably all, know that Irina is a recognized leader in sourcing and social recruitment. But I guess the best part here is that she actually comes from the technical background. She can speak the language of engineers. And I feel like that's where the most valuable information can also come from. She understands why it's important to source on GitHub and can help you, really get all the little bits of how it's done today. So I'm going to give the word to Irina, and she'll tell you everything you need to know.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. So let's begin today's presentation. Now, folks, if you have a question about what I present, please use the questions panel. If you have a question about Amazing Hiring or some logistical issues, go there as well, because chat is going up. If you have a reaction to what I've said, or if I ask you a question, use the chat, okay? So let's begin. A little bit about me. I used to write code, no longer do, though two of my partners do. Brain Gain Recruiting is our overarching company. We do sourcing for clients. Sourcing certification is our large training brand. Social List is our tool. And Boolean Strings is the name of my blog that some of you are familiar with. And also of our communities, LinkedIn and Facebook. Okay, so I will start with a trick question that I also posted on LinkedIn, and I'll show you some results. And I would like you to respond in the chat. What is the best site for sourcing software developers? What do you think? Tell me in the chat. Yes? Anyone? What do you think? Okay, so this is a poll that I opened up yesterday, just being curious, but also sort of steering people towards thinking about using more than one network, right? All of them, yes, but not just, okay? So the answer is A, it's best to combine different sites, but it doesn't just mean that you go to each site and search there, okay? And we'll take a look at what else you can do during the presentation. So what is GitHub? GitHub is this, it's version control. What is it? Like if you and I write the same document using something simple, we will be overriding what each other said. We will lose track and so forth. So GitHub grows out of the need to write code, maybe to do some branches, to have this code do this and that, and it's where people collaborate. It has other stuff on top of that, but this is the basics. It's open sourcing code that's being collaborated on by people all over the world. And GitHub is growing. GitHub is great to find developers, but also think about finding people who write code not as the main thing that they do. Maybe QA people, machine learning, data scientists, this type of things. They may have told us what they do on GitHub, and it's also a way to find them. Now, to source on GitHub, you need to join as a member and log in. Tell me in the chat, how many of you are GitHub members? Compared to, say, LinkedIn, GitHub has 1% of technical recruiters. So if you join GitHub, that's where you are. Okay, lots of you are, wonderful. We have about the same amount of participants today, interestingly, as the number of recruiters on GitHub. Isn't that fun? And message elsewhere, obviously. GitHub has about 56 million users, and a lot of them are active each month. It's very specific. It's people who write code. And my partner, David Galley, who, by the way, helped me with this content, who's pretty sharp, digs deep, he and I often argue whether GitHub is a social site or not. He says people don't write in English, they write in code. But let's go. And you can take a look. This is a recent, if you're curious, recent post with the numbers of top people per country. Now, under this link, Octoverse, you will find a lot of statistics, and I wanted to show you the diversity part. So compared to, and you can see what it is compared to worldwide, which is interesting. Okay, now let's start sourcing. To source, we need to see what can be found, right? So a profile, and I'm showing mine as as an example of a more filled out profile. Name, bio, this is my bio, and they can write anything, right? Followers, following, this is company, location, link to a site, and Twitter. If you're logged in, for people who show their profiles, you'll also see an email. But notice that there is no job title field. So if you're, say, X-raying GitHub and using words like engineer and developer, you'll find very little. But profiles can be Googled, they are public. Now, if you look at the profile, there is a repositories tab. Why it's useful, it has all the languages that the person has used. About a year ago, GitHub pulled the repositories tab from public profiles. They're no longer Googled, though you can still find some, previously indexed. But Googling just for the main profiles is a good idea. But we're still staying within GitHub. These links are searches on GitHub. there are many operators that you can check out. The two I'll be talking about, for the lack of time, about most useful operators. You can search by location. Now, notice that a location is text. So they can write anything and everything there. Many of them will even leave it empty, but some will, many people will write their real location, but there are people who live in the universe, about the same amount of people live on the moon and so forth. Okay, so this means that you need to think about the ways people may have phrased their location, because it's free-form text. So they may have written NYC or New York, and if you write it this way, it's an or search. It searches for this or that. So as a reminder, any questions, please use the questions panel. And okay, and you need to really think, Boolean, think all of the ways people may have phrased New York. Okay, so for New York, it'd be like that. Now, the operators do take all sorts of characters, accented, non-Latin. This is a search for Israel, finding very few, by the way. Most of them have put Israel in English. And this is a search for Kiev, Ukraine. And there are at least four ways to spell Kiev. And each way will pull more profiles. It's this or that or that. How many of you use the location search on GitHub? Now, languages. And I want to point out something very specific here. If you search by a language, it finds those users who have the most repositories in this language, okay? Not just everyone who writes in this language. And we have run across the explanation, tested it's true recently, and I know that people may have the same perception. So we're finding people whose main repositories are in TypeScript in this case. So if somebody has one repository in TypeScript, they will be found. If somebody has 10 repositories in TypeScript and 11 in Python, they're not found, just to keep in mind. Okay, so this guy has the majority in Python. He's found by Python, but he's not found by another language that pops up on his in his code. And while the locations is free form, the languages are standardized. You cannot put HTML5. You have to pull a language that out of the drop-down menu in the advanced dialog. And if you're not finding the right results you expect to find, check your language. And then you can combine operators and keywords. So you can search for this or that. But see here, searching for two languages at the same time does not make a whole lot of sense, because we are searching for two different groups of people. We will not find people who write in both at all. I mean, we may, but it will be accidental. Keyword search. So it does stemming, which is helpful. We know that there's no field for the job title, but you may find people with with usernames like engineer and so forth. So words are varied. Google has been doing this also for a pretty long time. If you search for manage, it will find managers and management. You cannot do this for the operator arguments. They have to be full phrases. Now, they have horrible rules, pretty horrible, for the Boolean search. And basically, if you have keywords, you use or and not. If you have locations or languages, you use minus and instead of not. And or is implied, obviously, and there's no and. Okay, so I want to introduce a tool, and many of you may be familiar with that, that's called Instant Data Scraper. It is a Chrome extension, and if you are watching and want to go right there, keep in mind that bit.ly links are you need to put the exact letter capitalization to get there, okay? So this is how it works. We have a screen where we're searching, run the scraper, and it's very minimal, it's very smart. All it needs to know is the next button, and it parses the whole thing just out of the box because it's intelligent. So very simple tool. And it produces a whole Excel file for you out of your search results. It will look like that. Now you can see that it has picked a lot of emails, those that are shown on the profiles. This does not mean, of course, that you should be emailing everyone you found such and such language, such and such city, but it's not your candidates. And I will get back to processing this list during the presentation. Now, you can not only, GitHub is endless, you know, you can also search for things that are not profiles. People who hang out on GitHub quite often upload their documentation there, upload whatever they want. And GitHub has two, and this is in the code section. It's not necessarily code. It could be resumes, it could be text, it could be, I don't know, novels. So extensions, they operate extension searches for files of a type, file name, for document names. For those of you who do Googling, they're similar to in title and file type. And popular formats include some unfamiliar to us, JSON and text. JSON is a programming thing. It's used to, it's a more advanced format than Excel. It allows you to store hierarchical data, and text is an editor for beautiful printing, and they use both. So it makes sense to, in some of your searches, to search for those. So extension JSON, file name resume, and then I'm adding a few things, and here you go. These are some resumes that I can pick here. Another thing, and here I'm searching for data scientist. See, they may not have said that they're data scientists on their profile, and here I have their full resumes. Okay. Another thing on GitHub is relatively recent, about 1 year old, is they've always had READMEs for projects, but now they have added READMEs to profiles, and they're sort of mini resumes. They offer you some template that people follow with these phrases. If you are on GitHub and want to create your own, this is a repository with the same name as your user ID. Okay, so I go on GitHub, and now I'm searching in code, and I'm using two phrases that come from the template, and the majority of them will not have deleted. So see, I am getting a lot of information from people's READMEs. Any questions, please? And let me scroll so that I see. I hear some recruiters were approached by GitHub and were warned to be blocked. Well, you know, I don't, okay, there are several questions. One thing is, you join GitHub, if you don't do anything spammy, you'll be fine. The GitHub does not check profiles for their job titles at all, right? And the second thing, it's not that they announced READMEs to please recruiters. I don't think so, okay? All right, so a couple tools. Octo HR, both are, oh, okay, another question, sorry. Are we also able to see emails of GDPR candidates in EMEA? the emails that you see when you're looking at search results, when you're looking at profiles, are the emails that people have decided to set as public. So that's all I can tell you. And then GDPR rules apply to storing and so forth. Okay, so OctoHR is good at showing it shows some emails, and it's good to show the dominant language, that one that the person will be found by. Okay, and this tool works on most profiles. It's limited tool per day, available for hire. Ignore that. It may have been put there for a long time ago, but it does show emails entered by people if they're not visible. I have a question. What is the key information to pay attention to, search for in the README sections? Now, README sections are minimal. You can do a tight search for README sections, put everything you want, title, programming languages, locations, whatever. You'll find some people have said all of that. But if it has little information, say, email and some hint that they may be a candidate, we can work with that as well, as I will be showing pretty shortly. Okay. So that was sitting within GitHub, and now we're going to incorporate other sites and tools. So how many of you use the operator site, X-ray? Tell me in the chat. How many of you do that? I imagine the majority would. Right? How many of you do that? Question. Can we mail the candidate in GitHub? The answer to that is no. Don't touch candidates on GitHub. Even if there were a way to bug them, don't. You can pick their email address, find out if it's relevant, if the person is relevant, and then you can message them or email them and so forth. If I missed any questions, please remind me, but I think I haven't. All right, cool. So that was actually using the operator site. And then my second tip for Google today is using asterisk. The asterisk is a word or two. It's informal. I add the asterisk to the beginning or end of my searches, not just to search something, but to push the results onto the screen. And you will see some examples of that as well. Okay. So this is X-ray, and I see Vanessa has suggested, my friend Vanessa has suggested followers are following. David Galley's string is block or report. It works slightly better, but I'll show you followers are following as well. So every public profile on GitHub has block or report, and that's how you X-ray. And here we have found people who have these two keywords on their profiles. Okay. In images, you can move to Google's images and search there like that. Google's images has this operator image size, and the majority of profile pictures, not necessarily photos, as you may know or see, it will produce different results. Images is a different database, so if you are going after finding as many results as possible, this will be complementary. And X-raying allows you to search for 2 or more languages. It's slightly imprecise because we're not going to the tab repositories, but the profiles themselves have either pinned or popular. So we're searching for the languages they work on most. Therefore, and I'm here using followers or following, you can use search like this and find people who have both languages, which obviously we are unable to do on GitHub. All right. So READMEs, you can also search for them here the results will come in different format than they would on GitHub, and of course they are much easier to collect here if you wanted. You see the questions. Can I show a search string with asterisks? I have many of those during in the presentation. How to understand which framework the developer works with? The answer to that is they have not mentioned the framework within their profile or work. You will have to find it elsewhere. Maybe they have put it on LinkedIn profile, for example, right? Oh, this is a great question. How do you validate that GitHub profile you picked is a great contributor? Here's the thing. GitHub profiles have followers and following. So people praise each other for their contribution. They have starred repositories, lots of stars. If that is true, the person is a great developer. If that is not true, it does not mean they're not. They may just be spending less time on GitHub. So they might be worth considering. Okay, missed a slide, sorry. So the READMEs also have the prompt pronouns. So here's your way to search for female developers. Okay. Now, what Google does not find, and GitHub does, is these exotic, from like general point of view, extensions. A lot of resumes are in JSON. Google does not index JSON at all. Why? Because it thinks that JSON is, a technical temporary format for containing data, but in reality, it is used to have resumes. And it doesn't find text resumes. It finds very few, really. So these resumes you will never find by X-raying or not X-raying, by Googling. You have to go to GitHub to find them. All right? Any more questions? Now let's see how we can combine GitHub and LinkedIn to really know who is worth reaching out, right? So I searched for Python in Chicago, and there are lots of students, professors, VPs, and so forth. And they're not my candidates, right? Or somebody who just joined a company, or somebody with a different years of experience that I want. Okay? So LinkedIn profiles have job titles and all that information. They may not have as much information about the development side of things. In fact, some people don't even mention their programming language on GitHub. But LinkedIn will provide us with that information. And by combining this data between the two, we will really know who the target candidates are. So how do we do that? We use Instant Data Scraper, the simplest scraper. It does scrape GitHub search results, including email addresses. Now, here is something I can also suggest. In our extensive tests, about a third of GitHub users, well, we were searching for developers, about a third of GitHub developers follow this pattern, username @gmail.com. So you have already emails that are valid, but you can also add the guest emails, and about a third of them will ring true as well. The resulting list is ready to be cross-referenced. All you need is emails. But of course, if you look through GitHub and found somebody who really looks promising, like check them out right away. Okay, so let's work with this list. Here's how to identify LinkedIn members by a long list of email addresses and find them all. You can use or should use your LinkedIn account, whether it's free or it doesn't matter what kind of subscription you have. Okay, so clean your contacts. You don't need that. You may have that from some prior upload. Then prepare a CSV file which has the emails that you got from GitHub, and probably some guesses as well. And the first and last names absolutely don't matter. You can put whatever you like. Now, there is this screen where you can upload a file. You upload that CSV file, which has the emails that we have collected. We know that on GitHub, they have that programming language and live in that location. And here's what happens. I just uploaded a list of emails, and I see in the first screen, I see people who have been identified with whom I am not connected. Now, one thing that some recruiters or LinkedIn users are after is inviting people and connecting through that. That's a fine practice these days, but now LinkedIn has limited it. If you do it this way, you can invite as many as you want. It's not a subject to limitations. Okay, so after you have uploaded, you go to your saved contacts, and this was my, I partially scraped that search for Chicago PHP, and you can see here, you shouldn't be emailing assistant professor or another assistant professor. Some emails have not been identified. That's lost for us, but we find quite a few. And some of these people show their the titles, the job titles that may be of interest, right? And then LinkedIn, in the contacts, if you click on a profile, you can see their email. So it shows the contacts. The contacts tab gives you the exact correlation, okay? And it's really powerful. You can upload up to 8-9 contacts. It's a little shaky, as LinkedIn always is, but this part of LinkedIn will be, has been improved. And if you have a recruiter, you can upload up to 200 emails, and here you can upload that many. Okay, what about people I'm already connected with? I won't see them in the list. You won't see them in the list of people to connect, but you will see everyone after you have uploaded in the contacts. Okay. All right. So another way to collect a huge amount of emails from GitHub is collecting authors' emails. So Kubernetes, don't know how to pronounce it well, is a popular technology. And this screen will find authors' files that have emails and names of everyone. They don't have job titles or anything like that, but I can do this. I can find all of these authors, collect their emails, and here they are on LinkedIn, right? And now I can narrow it down pretty dramatically to what I want to see. Okay. I'm going pretty fast, by the way. So this will give us a lot of time of questions and chatting. Any questions right now? Is there a lifetime total limit on how much you can upload? It works like this. On LinkedIn, you can have that many uploaded contacts. So upload 9,000, then remove them all, upload another 9,000, right? So it's unlimited. You can continue doing it as long as you want. Any other questions? Are tools available all over the world on LinkedIn, I suppose? There is a mention of amazing hiring extension, which is also a good way to find which other networks people are members of. Okay, let me continue. I'll finish with the slides, and before Amazing Hiring will show you their tool, we will be. I'll go through a few more things. Okay, so this X-ray does this. It looks for people on GitHub who have a LinkedIn profile mentioned. It could be it's probably a link to their website, right? So why is this nice? Because it ahead of time gives us a list of people who have both profiles, so that we can instantly learn more about them. Okay, so this is the result. So run instant data scraper, you get an Excel file with GitHub profiles, snippets, LinkedIn profiles, and names. And then you can do another way around. So here I'm X-raying LinkedIn. I'm X-raying LinkedIn for files, for profiles that have GitHub mentioned, their GitHub profile, with a couple of keywords. Okay, so I am putting these asterisks here. It's and I could have said siteuk.com, GitHub, and so forth, but I'm doing this HTTPS with asterisk to push the results onto the screen so that they're visible and can be collected right here. Okay, so the result is people in the UK with their job titles, with their locations, with their previews, and with their GitHub profiles. And they may not even have said in the GitHub that they are located in the United Kingdom. Okay, now this exotic string that got popular on Twitter when I shared it will find results and push onto the screen names, locations, titles, companies, LinkedIn's, and emails. And you can see that this the string is constructed in a weird way. I'm not searching for, I said me at, and then I'm repeating it. I'm kind of pushing it. It's a little bit of debugging, but then you can just press a button and Instant Data Scraper will have a table for you. Also search for what others have found, right? Which probably applies to Amazing Hiring as well. So here I'm Googling for file types of Excel that have LinkedIn profiles and GitHub. And my first result has, a table that's full of that information, plus emails, and I can use it. Of course, it's a matter of luck whether such a list exists. And you can also search for this type of files on GitHub. So here I'm searching for PHP Develop Paris. I added a couple of email addresses. Why? Because if we're searching for lists, they're likely to have more than one. And FR is French email, a potential French email extension. This is just a way to search for that. And I'm searching for larger size documents. This operator site is looking for document size. And I have found a table with names, contact, all of the languages people used, and other data. Okay. And my finishing part today is custom search engines. This is an image from our recent book. It's a layer on top of Google search. How many of you use custom or know about custom search engine, use them? Okay. So one thing they, thank you. One thing they do is they hide the complexity, the site operators for stores, but also other things. And another thing that's rarely used, they can search for values with special advanced operators. They can search for particular values on profiles. It depends on the site, and I will show you the operators for GitHub. So how to create a GitHub custom search engine? Anyone can do it in about 2.5 minutes. You go to create a programming CSC, enter the site to search, GitHub. That was step 1. Step 2, you're opening the control panel, and this is the bottom of the control panel. Here you select that you want to search for persons. I don't have the time to explain why and how they work, but you just do this and then chat with me after I get the book to dig into this. So the resulting CSC, when I did this, and you can repeat it, but you can reuse this one. So Java enthusiast will only find people, not any other pages on GitHub. And this is the operator list. It looks pretty cryptic, but it's amazing because you can be searching for particular things. You can be searching for which sites they attached, what they said in their bio, who they work for, and where they live. But you can search where they live on GitHub too, so it's not as important. So I'm finishing my slides with showing you how to use these operators. So this is looking for C++, and this is exactly looking for where the person works. Now, NVIDIA may not be such a common keyword otherwise, but if we're talking about Amazon, Microsoft, and so forth, if you use this operator, you will find employers and nothing else. It will not find profiles that have just mentioned Microsoft for many other reasons. This is a search for the attached file, attached site. You can be searching for example, Facebook profile, a Twitter profile attached to the profile. Okay, so thank you so much. This was my material, and oops. Let me bring back. You can just bring Google on the screen if you want me to share anything. And I am open for questions, and the amazing hiring folks will join us as well. Now, we have seen a lot of complex ways to search. We can pick profiles on GitHub, find them on LinkedIn, and out of this combination, we will find people that others won't. But amazing hiring is a way to not do this elaborate thing, because it has combined all of these operators for us, and they keep them in the database so that you can search there. And another thing that is attractive for me in the amazing hiring people aggregator is that you can upload your data as well. Just as on LinkedIn, you can upload emails and get profiles that have been cross-referenced against not just LinkedIn and GitHub, but against many other sites. All right. So thank you so much. I'll be looking at questions until amazing hiring takes the stage.
Yep, I'm here. Thanks a lot, Irina. Because we'll give you some time as well, guys, to pop in the questions. We have more than enough time, because what I wanted to do is, coming from what Irina just showed us, right? A lot of you felt like that's a lot of information. You're definitely going to rewatch this, and I suggest doing that, in slow pace. You've asked about the presentations. I mean, it's all in the video. Just stop at any stage. You'll be able to do that. There are a few things that Irina covered about data scraping, and I've noticed this was an interesting topic in the chat as well. So we felt like one of the things that you will be able actually to try yourself with amazing hiring is use that instant data scraper. to get the GitHub links, and I wanted to show you how Amazing Hiring can help you connect basically that data with LinkedIn. Irina showed you manual way. We can show you also how it can be done very fast in a few clicks. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I think it might be.
Let me stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
I'm technically challenged, believe it or not. So where's this thing? Change camera and mic. How do I stop sharing?
There should be like a cross button. Yeah, if you hover over the sharing option.
Here you go.
Cool. Let me do the sharing now myself. It's going to do this. So we've looked a little bit at GitHub. Irina, if you can let me know if the screen is seen right now.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So, for example, one of the things that I did, and I've actually shown this before, I think, on Sourcing Summit as well. So what you can do, for example, get a community of candidates that you potentially want to engage. Well, we are all very keen about proactive diversity sourcing. And one of the options, for example, I tried is this, GitHub group of women who code. I just scraped this people list with the instant data scraper, and you'll see that looks like this Pokeball. And I've sent a link to you guys in the chat so you can download it from the Chrome store. So I've scraped this, and now I have my Amazing Hiring search engine. So other than just actually creating the search, what we can do, we can go into data enrichment. And by the way, all of you will be able to try this out. You will get 300 data enrichment credits, and you will be able to test Amazing Hiring fully for 5 business days if you haven't done so in the last 6 months. So you can try out those tricks. So what I will do, I will put my CSV, and Rina showed you what a CSV looks like. So all I have to do is name my enrichment, and the platform will understand which GitHub profiles have any of the additional information as well, whether they have a LinkedIn profile or anything else that we can use to then figure out how suitable the candidate is. I know you were talking that it can be hard to figure out on GitHub anything about the candidate if you're not familiar with it. So Amazing Hiring can be really, really good help with this. So I will call this women who code. Oh, sorry. Apologies for this. Women who code. And now all I have to do is just select the link. I click import, 3 clicks. I've done this import before. This one was my test one. So now all I have to do is just click on it, and I will have a full folder of the candidates that we found basically on GitHub. But now we have all of the data about them, right? Some of you have asked about emailing candidates using GitHub emails, right? We always know where the data comes from. If you are interested in someone, feel free to point that out directly in the email, but be transparent. Be transparent why you're reaching out to them, where you get the data. And Amazing Hiring can really help you do that. All we do here, right? So we have a full list. We have 28 profiles. We easily got them from GitHub. We create a mailing list, 2 clicks. If you're keen on getting the best results, schedule the follow-ups so you will have multiple touches. We've even pre-created some templates for you. For example, anything like this. We've put in some pointers on what type of data you would be able to use. Then schedule follow-up in the exactly same way. I'm going to try some of these ones. Be as flexible as you want. You personalize your message on the next step, and you launch the campaign. That's it. So there were 3-4 steps that we used here. And obviously, with all of the information that Irina showed us, we could understand how many candidates that might be still hidden from us on GitHub. we'll definitely, as recruiters, be able to get the best value out of it. We automate this part, we reach out to these candidates, and everything is going to be tracked for you automatically here. If you don't want to use the data enrichment, some of you probably know already the plugin and mentioned it, and there's also a free version of the plugin that will help you connect the data from different sources. You can use that. So log into a specific GitHub profile. Just go there. You have the plugin pop up, and you'll see all the links. All that data connected all over the place. Some of you mentioned it's great when you even message on LinkedIn and say that you saw the candidates' repositories or specific projects.
Yes.
Do that. That's a really, really good starter. You can increase your connection rate. You can increase your response rate. That's like a super, super good tip. As I've mentioned, after the presentation today, you will have the recording. You'll also be able to request a demo of the system so you can try it out for a week and use the data enrichment credits that I've shown. If you will have any questions on how to use data enrichment in more detail, feel free to drop me an email. I'll be more than happy to help. I'm going to be stopping my screen sharing now, so we have enough time for the questions. I know there are quite a few in the chat, so Irina can answer those too.
Time for questions, folks. Or feedback. And thank you for those who have. Oh, please don't make it, let's connect with me. We can do it elsewhere. Instant Scraper link. Google Instant Scraper Chrome extension. You will find it. Quick questions Google can answer really well. Okay, just looking through the chat to see if there is more. So folks, please type your questions in the panel. Will I share the list of all GitHub operators? The list of all GitHub operators is in GitHub's help, and you don't need me for that. My presentation covered only so many, and these are the most important. And I have shared the list of all custom search engines operators that can search GitHub precisely. Will there be a webinar on Bitbucket? Well, that's pretty exotic. Of course, open source, there are lots of open source sites, but GitHub is the largest, is the top. GitLab is pretty source-friendly site, but I don't think any other worth a whole presentation. Are there any other ways of finding email IDs apart from the commits? Okay, as I said, a third of developers have the email, their tag at gmail.com. That's one thing. Another thing, if you know their company, a good percentage of the companies uses email format. So you can just construct their email address, first.last@company.com. There are companies that follow that precisely, and you can X-ray rocket reach to find out which companies there are. I have some stuff on my blog about that. Okay. I think it's time for talk about amazing hiring. Let me answer one more question. Is email extractor extension a good thing to extract emails? If you are extracting just emails, I would recommend an email extractor that you can find on my blog created by my partner, Julia Tverska. It can follow you from page to page, just collect everything that you're looking for. What is one thing I can share with aspiring sources? God, I don't know. Be curious, okay? Okay, folks, I'll probably hide myself and see you online, and hopefully in person sometime too.
Yeah, hope we will see each other all together in person. Guys, it was great to have that conversation going all together. Any of the questions that you might still have. So Irina has a really great community, Bull and Strings. It's both on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Feel free to drop any questions to her there. I know this is like a super great community. Some of you were asking about how to actually get access to Amazing Hiring. So I've shared the link. You can go to our website, amazinghiring.com. There will be a link to request a demo. Make sure to put GitHub into the promo code area so we would know that you attended the webinar, you would want to have 300 data enrichment credits, and you can also see it in the Crowdcast app right now. There's going to be like a button saying claim data enrichment credits. You can click there. It's going to direct you where you need to go. In terms of the recordings, once again, it will all be shared. Don't worry, you can rewatch it. Make sure to get access to Irina's new book. She has also shared a lot of materials, and I think David also shared a lot of materials and links on additional stuff what we've covered. But other than that, it was great to meet you all today. We hope you will join our future webinars as well. And thanks again, Irina. It was stunning. It was great. A lot of new things to try and think about. Yeah, I guess if we don't have any other questions, yeah, someone's asking, Amazing Hiring can be used in China as well. Let's have a look if there are any other questions in the chat. No, I think promo code is GitHub, just GitHub. I'm gonna put it once again in the chat, but I think we'll include it into the email as well and make sure that that's out there. Clear, cool, great. Thanks everyone. It was a pleasure to meet you all today. Enjoy your day.